I'm taking round 8 of the AFL as a success. I did okay, but we must move on to round 9 of the AFL. So let's get picking. We must first look back at round 8 though and how we did. And Thursday, a lot of people made the mistake on picking Port in the showdown, the derby between the two Adelaide teams. And Adelaide, they did very, very well. The Crows came out and they performed. Now, I think injury is a problem for Port, and we'll look into that a little bit later on for this week's tips, but Port just didn't turn up. With a score of only 48, they did not turn up, and the Crows got the job done. So I get absolutely nothing because I did Port to win by 35. Well done if you are the 14% of people that could pick Crows, and well done to the one person who got the exact score difference. Well done, that was 30. Friday came along and it was Carlton versus Collingwood. This one, get in. 77% of people went for Carlton, 23 went for Collingwood, and that was including me. I just thought Collingwood had enough. The trends were going the right way, and I did Collingwood by 6, and guess what? They won by 6. Yes, get in there. I think that's the first correct score difference that I've had so far this season. So I get 1 point for the result and 0.75 for the close. So I'm happy with that. Sydney, get in there again. 69% were correct. I did Sydney by 8. We actually won by 29. I thought it would be a little bit closer than it was, but I don't really think Sydney were ever really in any trouble. I think we could have possibly pushed away and done a little bit more, but I don't think we were ever in enough trouble to actually think, we may not win this. I think we were confident. GWS missing Toby Green, clearly. That's a big miss. So, yeah, get in 1 point for the result. St Kilda versus North. I was correct. Do not pick North. Once again, they still scored more than, for example, Port, but 103 for St Kilda. They did the job. 96% got it correct. I did win by 10. A fair few people got the actual... How? Who picks 38? But yes, some people did get the correct score difference, so well done. Melbourne versus Geelong. I was happy with this one as well because this one was more of the left field. I just had a feeling Geelong may lose their first game of the season, and they did. I did the D's by 3. They won by 8, so I get that point for the result and half a point for the close score. So fantastic. And I don't think it's actually a major issue for Geelong. I think it's great for Sydney because we're now top of the league. But that's all I'm going to say. West Coast versus Essendon. Well, it was a close game. It's a close game. And, you know, West Coast, I didn't think they would win, right? I did an Essendon win by 20. They actually won by 6. I didn't think West Coast would win. But actually, they are sort of competing now. After the bad start, and then they had 2 wins in a row, they maybe are finding their feet. Maybe. I don't think they're... Nah, they're not. No. 4, 8, 12. They're 3 wins off top 8. If they get a real flourish of form again, maybe later on in the season, they may sneak into the top 8. I don't see it, but at least they are showing some signs of life. So 1 point for the result for me there. Sunday, Richmond versus Freo. Get in. Once again, there is no curse that I have on Freo, okay? I did Freo to win by 10. They demolished Tigers. Tigers are doing awful. They're only 1 win better than North, and that's saying something. Freo won by 54, a fantastic result for them, but I keep saying this, you don't know which team Freo's going to turn up. Is it going to be the real defensive team, or is it going to be the gluttonous goal scorers? You just don't know, but lots of goals were scored, definitely. Then, Western Bulldogs versus Hawthorn. I don't know what happened here. It was a fairly tight game. The Hawks were in the lead for pretty much all of the game. The Hawks played well. They didn't really look like they were going to lose it. And it was always the Dogs trying to chase. They did get close, but not close enough. So I get nothing, and a lot of people don't get anything. Well done if you are... Everyone that picked Hawthorn, you get a point plus half a point for a close score. So well done to you guys. Excellent for you. Last game ended up being Brisbane versus Gold Coast. Brisbane came back to the Gabba, and they did finally get that win at home, which has been a struggle for them this year. And I don't know why, because normally they do well at home, but it's not been confident, except they did well. 79-45. I did Brisbane by 9. They actually won by 34. So I get a point for the result. Well, I can guarantee, at least this week, I am not just going down. I'm actually going to go up. Let's see how we're doing. Yin has dropped, and up 4 places is RPN24. Well done. We have actually got some decent movement up and down. Frenchy stays up 7. Limoz up 11. Judo Ezza, well done. Jason D up 10. Down 6. Mimi G. Any other big movements? Down 12. Tasha up 18. Aaron. Ragnarok X is up 20. Well done. Down 10 and 10 is Hazy and Banana Jojo. So we are getting plenty. Rach is up 18. Azimus is up 14. Down 17 is Marie Formica. Up 18, Keyboard Warrior. Up 21 is Sky Marie. Up 21 is DJD. Well done. Down 11 is Shisu. Down 17, Paxel. Down 23, Mike Joe. Any other big movements? Where am I? Where AFL Legend is up 12, up 16, St. Jai, down 12, just really. Up 20 is my friend from Adelaide, Sidey. Cow is down 11. Oh my God, Cow is plummeting. Plummeting, I say. Cat 101, 1001 is up. No, down 21. Ouch. But up 23. I think that's the biggest movement so far. Robreacts, I'm up to 80. Yeah, it had to be positive, for, because it has been awful. Down 22. I'm still waiting for the golden hat, aren't I? Kate down 20. Where's the golden? Right, there's the wooden spoon. How is the person that goes up 1 got the wooden spoon? Who has got? But the golden hat is Brownie16 with the golden hat. Well, that's the league position for this week. The first game this week is on Thursday, is at the MCG between Carlton and Melbourne. Both teams are doing okay. Now, Melbourne clearly have got the form at the moment. They have come off the win against Geelong, which was a fantastic win. Carlton now, 3 losses in their last 4, and they are dropped down to 8th at the moment. Now, there is some news. Melbourne, they are doing okay. They've got 1 player coming back. Carlton have got 3 players coming back from injury, possibly on both. But I think, I don't know if I can look past Melbourne at the moment, because Melbourne are just solid. They're solid all over the pitch. They are doing really, really well. They're in the position which I'm pretty sure they should finish in, roughly around there. So I think we've got to go for a win. I'm going to go with, unlucky for some, 13. Yeah, I don't know why, but I'm going for a 13-point win for Melbourne. Then, Friday the 10th at the GMHBA Stadium in Geelong is Geelong versus Port. Now, Port, they are really getting hit now with a fair few injuries indeed. And it's going to hurt, right? Port, they've got Connor Rose out. That's not good. They have got Alir meant to come back, who is a strong player. But it was a little bit of a carnage last week for them as players kept getting taken off. I think Geelong will be too strong. I know they lost, but I think they should bounce back from that Melbourne defeat. So I think what we're going to do is a 16-point win. Yeah, 16-point win for the Cats. I think they'll get back into it. They're at the litter box as well. They're at home, so they should beat Port, who have still been performing well, but slipped up a few times. Optus Stadium then on Friday. We've got 2 games on Friday again. The Dockers versus the Bloods, the Swans. There is only one team that's winning this, right? The thing is, Swans have looked confident, right? We're playing mostly pretty free-flowing football. Freo, they're either really defensive or really attacking. You don't know what you're getting. And so I think Sydney can unlock that, especially if they're playing quite defensively, which you would assume they wouldn't playing at home. They would be more attacking. That's normally how sports works if you're at home or away. And I think Swans should be strong enough for sure. They really should be. And actually, I know I made points about Grundy, for example. To start off with, first game, oh my God, he was brilliant. Then he was distinctively average, right? But I think last couple of games he's really picked it up, and it has made the difference. You've got Heaney dropping back as well into midfield, and our midfield is just sublime at the moment. The creativity that we are creating is fantastic. It's allowing our forwards to get the chances that they are getting as well. Swans win here. Swans win by 30. It should be a good win, hopefully. Hope. Really, really hope. Saturday the 11th, Hawthorn versus Saints. Now, Hawthorn, they have come off a victory. A good performance, a really, really good performance they had last week. St Kilda also had a good performance, but St Kilda certainly had the easier opposition against North. It's not an easy one to call, but technically on strength of the team, St Kilda are the stronger team here. Just looking at any news. Yeah, I don't think there's any real news on injuries or whatnot. Saints have got some youngsters they could bring in for a little bit of youth, a little bit of energy, but I think we've got to go with a St Kilda win. So let's do a Saints win by 23. 23. Let's get some big-ish scores. It's not that big in terms of football, isn't it? Marvel Stadium. We've got Essendon versus GWS Giants. Giants have been doing really well, currently sat in 3rd place. They've suffered 2 defeats now. Essendon, they're on pretty good form as well. In their last 4 games, they've got 3 wins and a draw, so they are doing well. Oh, it's not easy. It's not easy. Essendon at home, that's one thing we can go for. Have they got any injuries? Tom Green was subbed out with a nasty looking ankle injury last week. But there's no structural damage. So will he play? I think that's possibly the deciding factor. I don't like Toby Green, but he does have that incredible influence over his teammates, doesn't he? How his team performs. So if he plays, they've got a chance. In my opinion, if he doesn't play, then it certainly weakens the Giants. I think I've got a edge on the sign of caution here, and I think it's not guaranteed that he's going to play. So I'm going to go along those lines as he's not going to play. So I'm going to go with an Essendon win. It shouldn't be a massive win because I don't think Essendon are amazing at scoring goals. But let's do an Essendon win by 6. It really is if Toby Green turns up, and we just don't know yet, so that's the issue. Anyway, next, TIO Stadium up in Darwin, apparently. It is Gold Coast Suns versus North. Can North win? Can they win a game? Probably not. Probably not, but I don't know. I just don't know. They've been disappointing, both teams, I think. And it's quite funny because a lot of people said, I predicted West Coast to be quite near the bottom. They obviously won the first game and people are like, yeah, we told you so. We told you they'll be good this year. And they haven't necessarily lived up to that. They are in 10th, amazingly, but I don't think they've lived up to it. So North and North. So I really want North to get a win, but they're not going to, are they? They're all the way up in Darwin. Suits the players for the Gold Coast Suns, I suppose, because it's a little bit warmer, but I don't know how much it really does. But I think it's got to be a big win for Gold Coast. They've got to try and get some form, especially if they want to get into that top 8. Let's go with a 34-point win for Gold Coast Suns. MCG next, we've got Richmond versus the Dogs. Richmond are hopeless. Bloody hopeless. They really are. Any team news? No, not really. No. There's no real news on players that are injured or out, so it shouldn't necessarily affect both teams. Dogs are technically the better team. Richmond, just there's no cohesion, there's no camaraderie, there's no team spirit, there's no excitement around them, and I don't expect it to pick up now. So let's go with a Dogs win by 25. Yeah, Dogs win by 25. Then Sunday, Collingwood versus West Coast. Now I know West Coast have been competing a little bit more recently. Well done to them. But they are now facing the team that now has a 1-2-3-4-5 game unbeaten run in Collingwood at Marvel Stadium. So they're coming all the way to Melbourne. They're not going to beat Collingwood, are they? Surely they are not going to beat Collingwood. There's no... who might be out? Jordan Goey might be out. Tom Mitchell probably out as well. Yeah, Bo McCreary. Lockie Schultz is probably out. Yeah, so it's not amazing news, but we will see. I think they should still have enough, though. At the end of the day, West Coast, they've got Elliot Yeo out, and they've got Jake Waterman out. So plus the travel, I couldn't see. Even if they had no one out, I still couldn't see them beating Collingwood. So we are going to go a real strong win by Collingwood, obviously. Let's do a 44-point win for Collingwood. Next, and the last game at the Adelaide Oval, is the Crows versus Brisbane Lions. Both have very similar form. They are both, where are they? Crows and, 12th and 13th. There is nothing in between these guys. We better see if there's any team news. Lions, they've got Lincoln McCarthy and Darcy Gardner with ACLs, ruptured ACLs. That's not good news. That is really not good news. Noah Answorth with concussion will also miss the game for the Crows. So maybe let's go. The injury-wise, it's looking like Brisbane are most hit. Crows have now won 2 games in a row, so are they now starting to find their form? Are they going to try and start trying to sneak into the top 8? I think it will just be trying to sneak in at this rate. There are too many stronger teams in their way. But they are scoring some goals now. They're finding a little bit of form. They had a good win against Port last week. So let's do Crows by 8. Yeah, Crows by 8. So the picks for this week: Melbourne by 13, Geelong by 16, Sydney by 30, Saints by 23, Essendon by 6, Gold Coast by 34, Western Bulldogs by 25, Collingwood by 44, and the Crows by 8. It is still hot as anything in our league. There is a lot of movement, which is so good to see. It's showing that not necessarily every team, not necessarily every one of you is having constantly amazing weeks. There are obviously those few people. Yin has been up there right from the start and doing really well, but there is still room to get to the top. That is the amazing thing. But we constantly seem to have some really good tippers in my league, because you can see they're doing very, very well. But thank you so much for joining me. To support the channel, please do make sure you like and subscribe. And I'll catch you next week to see how we've done.
No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.